Good morning, afternoon, and good evening to all of you from wherever you are joining us today. Please feel free to scan the QR code and do the event check-in. This will give you access to additional resources and information about events that we are running on Reactor, which are around similar topics to today's session. Also, you will be able to access links from today's session. I will share the event check-in link and the QR code again with the event ID in the Q&A section shortly. Thank you all again for joining us today. My name is Rashmita and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor. This session will run over the next 1 hour to 2 hours, including Q&A. The session is being recorded and will be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel. I will share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat section soon. Quick word on a code of conduct. We display this at all Microsoft Reactor events that we run, and it's just a reminder to be aware of others. The key thing to take out here is to be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat will be open throughout and we do encourage you all to participate. Also, please keep your mics muted during the session. I would now like to welcome Swami and Prakash, our speaker for today's session. Swami is an aspirant software architect. He loves to learn about new technologies. Prakash is a tech manager, certified Scrum Master. He's currently working at Micron Technology as a Manager IT ETD. But for now, I will hand over to both of you to begin the session. Over to you.
Rashmita for introduction, and we'll start from here. So Swami, I'm just presenting my machine and we'll get going. Thanks everyone for joining from wherever you join, based on good morning, evening, afternoon. Appreciate your time. So let me share the machine and then we can start discussion. Please let me know once you guys can see. Can someone confirm?
Yes, we can see.
Yep.
Okay, sure. So let's talk about this bit about ourselves, like me and Swami. So this is about me. I think you already briefed about it. Apart from technical, I do have non-technical interest on music, spirituality, and visiting natural places. These are some of the blogs and GitHub website, and of course we can connect over Twitter as well. Coming to Swami, you want to talk about?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Swami. I'm aspirant of software architect, and Prakash and me, we were doing community service. I paired up with Prakash 8 years ago, and we do a lot of community service. I work as associate architect at Applied Information Sciences, and I love learning new technologies, and that's my GitHub link. And that's true. The diehard bhakt of Lord Venkateshwara Swami. Thanks, Prakash, for highlighting that. Back to you, Prakash.
Okay, let's begin. Let's talk about what we are going to show today at a high level, how the architecture looks like. So as you can see, we'll have like user is coming into the UI that is written in the Blazor, the WebAssembly that came in, and now it is in the production as well. So that UI we have used Blazor UI for front end. Then of course from there we have connection to the this auth 0, and we are kind of creating the tokens and ID and all for security purposes. And then that is used. Auth is also used to put an audience for securing the API. And in API, using this JWT, we are kind of this API management, Azure API management is kind of securing those APIs. And after that, we do have a Web API layer. Web API is again kind of having the logic of how to pull the data. It has its own different layers that goes into web service, like repository layers and everything. Web API also accessing the Azure Key Vault for different security settings and secure data that can't be exposed generally. So we are using Azure Key Vault as well. From here, as you can see, it has two kind of connections. So we are using, as the name of the talk suggests, that cache aside pattern is what we are using to kind of pull the data from API. So if what it means that if data is already present in cache, it will pull from there. If not, it will go back to the SQL server. While again reading from SQL server, data would be updated back in the cache, so that from next time onwards, it is not hitting the database unless it is already present in cache to improve the performance. Same thing is also mentioned in the bottom of the slide. So we will also be using to deploy the SQL, the data into all the data model and everything into the SQL Azure. We'll be using DAC that pattern, that is deployment strategy, so that all the data is kind of deployed into SQL as well. So Swami, anything else you want to touch upon?
Good thing, and a couple of other points what we want to highlight is how are we securing the web API, and how are we securing all the menu options in the Blazor WASM through we get the authentication, and only the authentication users are going to see those left nav menu. And bringing in all those server side from API management towards this side of this API management, we are bringing in everything into the application insights. That will be pretty much a fun when we get into that. Back to you, Prakash.
Sure, thanks, Swami. These are technologies. I think we already spoke upon it. That you can see that a new thing over here is Dapper. That is what we are using instead of EF core, because we observed that Dapper is a little more lightweight and hence gives the better performance. I think this thing anyway we discussed. So yeah. Okay, demo time. So fine. So let's begin that. So I do have a demo of UI that I'm going to show you. And then, of course, Swami will pitch in to talk about API management. And then, of course, after that, we can kind of collaborate and we can discuss and we can have a technical walk through that, how different things can be implemented. So as you can see, the project architecture, how it is. I hope my machine is still visible. Is it true? Okay.
Yes, Prakash.
Okay, great. So this is how, as you can see, this is a solution structure that we'll be sharing the GitHub URL as well post this call, so that in case you want to refer it, you can also refer the code, post this session. So as you can see, we have API in that. That's what we spoke, books.api. Then on common, you can see that we have the data layer, different folders, libraries created for data and caching. On coming to the other things, we have a separate database kind of a store. It is kind of to have this deployment as we just spoke. On web, we have this is the main web solution that we have, where that Blazor WASM that we are talking about. It is basically, as you can see, it has different auth pages for auth, and for book, different operations of the book. It is, it has the different files for it to handle different operations, and then also.
Prakash, you're in which screen, Prakash? You're on the demo time screen, or you're on some of the screen?
I'm in Visual Studio. Is it not visible?
No, it's not.
Oh,
we are
sorry.
seeing only this.
Let me, share the right screen then. Okay. I was sharing the code. One sec. Okay.
Looks like you shared a particular window.
Yeah, let me share the screen. That way it is simpler. I hope it is. Yep. The code is visible now.
Okay, yeah, great. Visual Studio. Yep.
Okay, so let me quickly repeat what I just said. So in the source we have API, where you can see books.api is what we're talking about. In common, we have different data-related library projects and cache-related projects. In database, as you can see, we have this data basically stored that we'll be using for DACPack. In the web section, as you can see, this is what we are going to use. This books.web, that is a Blazor WASM project, and in that you can see different implementation for auth, and also for different operations in the books. you can see that different pages for that, and basically going to, yeah, that's pretty much structure at a high level. So anything else you want to touch upon?
Prakash, we'll do like a code jam session
Sure.
once you're
Okay.
done. Yeah, once you're
Sure.
done, you can go ahead, and once you give me the control, we'll be
Sure.
doing a workshop kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. So this is how, at a high level, guys, this is how this priority structure looks like. And let's quickly do the demo. So I have started this API project already and opened a new instance of UI, and it has opened. So Swagger, this is how this API already started, and it is running over here. And as you can see, this is the, wait, let me start the UI. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll kind of come over here again and I'll spin the new instance of this. Right click, debug, and new instance. So my API is running. Now my UI is kind of getting spinned up. Okay. What happened? Something happened. Try one more time. Okay, API needs to run continuously. So let me start it. And then I'll spin the instance of our UI project. Okay, so I'll quickly spin this one. And here you go. So as you can see, our API is running on port 5001. That's what we have configured in the app setting. And here you see the the UI project. This Blazor WASM project is what it is coming here. So here we have used this auth, and my name is added into the auth actually. The service that we are using, and hence I have the access. So and hence you can see my name over here. The main thing is happening over here. So book list. This is authenticating. The auth is getting authenticated for me, and it is also at the same time checking that whether my web service is kind of using my audience or not. So if I show you quickly different settings, so you need to go to over here in UI and go to www and check the app setting over here. So as you can see, this is what the authority that Xiaomi is has, and this is what I have used client side, client ID, and this is what I'm sharing for my API. Okay, my API ports are over here, so it knows that which one to use. And if I go to my API, so let's go to API here, and you can see that authority is same and audience is this. So this how auth is able to understand that this API it can access the data from. And of course these are like additional settings for Redis and SQL Server. This is my local SQL Server machine. This is how the configuration looks like at a high level. And now let's jump to the UI again. So it is again the service is running over here, and if I show you the UI, how it looks like. So now the data has come in. So this data is coming. It is going all the way from from traveling from. So I clicked over here. I'm over here. So it went. It used the API, and it further went to the database and getting the data from there, and it's showing up here. Okay. This is pretty much at a high level, the initial how the working looks like. We'll go into more deeper aspects on different API management and all. So, any question till this time? Okay, looks like there is none at this point. So maybe Swami, I'll let you start the API management and other details. Over to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Prakash. So let me share my screen. Please do let me know. And sometimes if my voice is stuck, do give me a shout.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Uh, so this session will be totally hands-on, and we'll be setting up everything, whatever Prakash was showing. Everything will set up in front of our eyes. There will be nothing, and we can park some questions. If we are unable to answer any of these questions, we'll definitely get back to you through this channel. And please fasten your seatbelt. So whatever Prakash has already shown this, here is the uh, complete source code. I will post it here in our Teams meeting so that you guys can go ahead and grab it anytime you guys are free to look into that. We have build and everything set up there. Let me first walk you through this one, how the demo looks. Let me log off and I'll show you. It will fail. One of the reason is auth here in this application. Under this application, auth 0. I'm going to delete this anyway. So this is just for the demo. So I had to make it different URLs on each and every to return to should be there. I didn't do it, so that was the reason it. The first URL is this 1505. That's the reason it just blows off when we do a log off from this one. If I need to do this, I didn't have time, so I didn't do it. So let me come and do this. It determines the item. I need to do a logout. I can switch it. Okay, so the first thing is we will do a login, and it gives us the sign in. I have the demo user one, sample $123. This is the dev environment. We have a resource group where we are going to publish everything. And here it comes, and we can go ahead and see what are we doing in here. We can go and do a fetch data and do a books. So when we do books, we are going and hitting the APIM instance, and we are not hitting the API. We are going and hitting the APIM instance here, and from there we are going and bringing in the content and flushing it on the screen. We took it a simple instance, like I can make it HTML and dash and add P101. I can make it 101 pages. I do this. It goes and adds the record, and we can see this Prakash entry has been added. Just we did a very simple look and feel, but overall our intention is to make it a thing work. Okay, so let me keep this aside. This is what is there in our dev environment. So we just created one more resource group, which we are calling it as a prod environment. So what we will be doing is step by step. It's like a live discussion. We will go ahead and discuss point by point and start deploying the things. Okay. So let me come in here. How we will go and do that is we will start from here. First, we'll deploy this, and this is already configured. We'll speak about few considerations, and then we'll come back, deploy this, and have a key vault, and see quite a few things here, and a little bit of internals, and then we'll hit this URL with the postman and deploy the Blazor WASM and do a short circuit from Blazor WASM to Web API. Then we'll come back to APIM. So overall, we are going to touch everything, including this security. Okay. So without further ado, I'll come back here, close all tabs. The first thing is we will go and see what is there in our SQL. Okay, there's a prod. We're clicking on this SQL server. So wantedly, I will create some errors so that we'll learn the hard way. Okay. So I remember in one of the demo, one guy commented that author was not well prepared. He was having a lot of errors. So FYI, I'm telling that I'm wantedly creating. I will not enable this allow Azure services so that when we are doing an integration, it throws an error on our face. So I wanted to show that. Okay, at this point of time, when I'm trying to access this SQL server, it will not allow me to do that because I do not have my client IP. This is only for the demo. We are adding it. Please never ever you do that. And you will not have the access to your resource group, anything more than dev. So QA test, you add prod stage, none of those resource groups, you will be able to do anything. Everything will be through CI/CD, but this is the first V1 version or a beta version of our discussion of this architectural thing. We are doing it manually. In future versions, when we are doing it, we'll do everything through automated. And let me get into the databases. And here we have one database. That's the SQL database is there. And if you have multiple databases and you're sure that those two databases are not spiking at the same time, we can use elastic pools where we can save some money, but ensure that those two are not spiking at the same time. And the second point is uh, where we were adding this firewalls, where we were adding the firewalls rules. We need to ensure that if you enable punch a hole in the firewall, ensure that this we are deleting it immediately. But the best suggested way to have those networks, and through the networks only, we have to allow access and never ever punch the hole in the firewall. I'm doing only for this demo. And coming back to the database, this is an empty database. Let's go and check through this query editor. So I log in and I see that there are no tables whatsoever, right? So let's come back to this database over here. Everything is already provisioned. So let me go and click the properties. The first thing what we have to do is, if someone wants to deploy the target platform, ensure that the target platform is Azure SQL. You can do it to a local or SQL. Now, right now we are doing it to the SQL, and then change this and click on edit. I go to browse and click on Azure and refresh. Now, come on, don't do this with me. God, I did that just now. Why is that adding it now? God.
That's okay, Swami. You can just, what you can do is,
Yeah.
Or you can stop sharing for a while, like for a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll do that. 1 second. Just give me a minute.
We can come back here.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just
I did it 2 minutes ago before this demo. I know that. Yeah. Just wanted to save some time. Did it?
So hang tight, guys. We are,
Okay. I need to get my phone. I need to key in the credentials from my phone. Okay. I think that will fix it. Yep, I think that fixed it. Close. Let me share my screen back. Entire screen. Come back to this Visual Studio. This is my Visual Studio Community Edition. I am browsing, so we are seeing that. So this is SQL Server Store prod, and I'm giving my password. That's my demo password. I use it in all my demos. So just do a connection check and click on OK. Now you see this, the connection settings has been updated. So just save that one and select this project, right mouse click and select it as a startup project and click on start. So the moment we do that as start, it will start pushing the things from our local to the server. So let's go and check this output window here. So you see that it has created this SQL DAC pack, and then it starts pushing it from our local to the server. So come back here and let's ensure that there are nothing in here before it pushes. So you see that there is nothing in the stored procedure or tables. So it takes 1 or 2 minutes, not more. It will create this DAC pack and start pushing it from my local to the server. And let me check my internet speed. It's 130. Anything more than 100 is good. So it pushes. Okay. In the meanwhile, let's come back and let's discuss some of this URLs which I flushed it over here. So one of the thing which we wanted to ensure is we should always have this encryption enabled, so that what will happen is even the data which is there in while rest, even that's there, but that comes by default. We'll see that those options in a moment. So let me go to that here in the SQL Server. Okay, and some of the other things what I really like is this, the performance and the recommendations, whatever it shows it over here, and automatic tuning. So what does this automatic tuning is, if at all based on the data, it will do the analysis and execution, query execution plan. It updates based on that. And sometimes after having more number of records, it might need to fall back on one of the previous execution plan, the query execution plan it does, and it adds the indexes, it deletes that indexes based on the content auto tuning. And here the performance recommendations, this is pretty much a very good tool for us to go and get into those things to find out. I just wanted to come back there while this is there. So I think we can come back and log in here. So let's go and see that. I will leave this. I can always enter the credentials. So this is, I mean, we didn't execute anything, but I just wanted to show you that. And one of the things is that performance recommendation, whatever is here, it will come and it will definitely show. And this is another important thing where we can come and check this. Okay, come on, the prod. Okay, now you see this after the DAC pack. What it does is it does the SQL, and it starts the deployment of the SQL. So you can see that it went ahead and created this table and all these stored procedures. Everything is up and running. So now we can pretty much come in over here and go back to the SQL database directly, and I can come in here and sample $123 and click on this one, and you can see that it shows the table and there's stored procedures. So need to ensure that few of the security things we need to have in place, where it some of the security things are coming by default and some of the things which we have to ensure that. Okay, and always set up this alerts is very important when you are running short of memory, or some the CPU is spiking. So we need to come and ensure that why it is happening. Okay, that's the first piece of the equation. I will close that. The second piece of the equation is this Redis cache. And here you can see this thread protection is also there, which it costs a little bit. So what does this thread protection does is it alerts us when someone is trying to hack into our system. Okay, other couple of things is transparent data encryption. This is also called as encryption as at rest. So this will be enabled. And if you want to use, what if in the transmit, while the data is being in transmit, we can do this always encryption, so that if you are using in a C# code where the content will get totally masked, you even if you use the SQL tools to get into do a select star, you will see that masked content there, where you will not be able to see that, but you need to use special some libraries to encrypt and decrypt at the client level. Okay, this is a couple of points. And coming back to the Redis cache. So coming back to this Redis cache, what is that we need to consider is we need to consider that what it provides and what is our requirement. So let me come back to Azure Redis cache. Let me do a duplicate of this, and by default what it supports. So if you see that by default it supports 53 KB. Now I forgot the number. It supports a little bit of 1 second. Pricing. We'll see this one, Azure Key Vault pricing details. This is very much important before we go ahead and start using this one. So standard, what it supports, that's what we need to understand. So if you see that one, we have the standard also, uh, where it supports very less number of things. You will not have much of the benefits if you use this one. I think it is 56 kilobytes MB. I think so. I think it allows 56 MB or something. At this point of time, I don't remember on top of my mind, but if you need more memory, so we have to use the sharding. So if you need sharding, and again you need to go and bump up your price. So we need to do a pricing or whatever is that, what is our requirement, and what is the keys which they are using it. And if you have if the content is there in the memory, so there is no protection, because it's purely the key value pair in memory. And if you need the protection like encryption in rest, then you need to bump up to premium, where you'll get that facility of to store the data in encryption. And the other key important point what we need to understand is we have to ensure that the what kind of content is eligible to get stored in this key vault. Just that I learned some new concept and I go and start using it, that doesn't work. Definitely it's going to it's going to backfire us. So just we need to think through what is that we want to store it here. Suppose if the stock prices are there, and anything which is changing pretty frequently is not a right guy to get stored in the Azure Key Vault. But if at all books are there, let's assume a book version 1 or edition 1 of this book is there, or professors or a college professors or teachers inside a school. So these are the contents which are going to change very rarely. Imagine a scenario when how many professors are going to join in a school or a college, and how many times we are going to modify his personal data until unless he is moving to is shifting from one location to other location, or there was a raise in his paycheck. Only few things will do that. So that is the right kind of guy which we can put it into the put it in the Redis cache and get benefited. And also we need to ensure that whenever this guy's content is getting changed, we have to ensure that we are coming in and updating that details. Okay, so that's very important point. And that's it. So let's start working on these two pieces. So we have this one, there is a console and we can come back and get the keys. So let's start formulating. For some reason I always use the secondary. So let me come back over here and start adding this is a prod one. I already configured one for dev, so this is the prod one, that's the configuration. And let me go and create a duplicate tab and go back to this prod version, home, and go to this prod and get this SQL Server DB and get into the connection strings, copy the connection strings. These all things will get dismantled, so I'm very happy to share my password. So sample $123, that's the same password I use for all my demos. Okay, so that's the password. We have the connection string, and this will remain same and this will remain same. So from this big picture, whatever we saw, that we deployed this and we verified it. We'll get into the details of that in a moment. And what do we do is, yeah, here in this Redis cache, we have an access to some of the things to discuss about. This one is this cluster, which I told based on the usage, we have to use this cluster. And because when you have a more requirement, you need the cluster, because the memory what it is allocated for one of the instance, or one instance is will be very less. So 53 MB I think. So that based on that we need to do a clustering, how many things which we need. Azure Key Vault memory. So Azure Key Vault default memory, whatever it supports. I remember it is 53 kbps. Yeah, 530. It was one of the question. So it is 10 times you can do clustering and increase the memory limit. Okay, we have two different things. The next piece, what is there is the key vault. And another important thing when we are speaking about the key vault is who will get access to the key vault? No one else, only the DevOps team. That too through pipelines only. Not much of the people they'll be given access, except the DevOps lead or manager, and development teams, architect or senior architect. Not even tech leads they'll be given access, because these are the keys of the kingdom. And we'll be doing some other mistakes here wantedly. I'm again telling that it will not work in the first instance, because I want to showcase that where all the things can go wrong. We have a dent somewhere in the SQL server. Our API will not work in the first instance. So again, there will be a dent here also, two places. So the first thing is we need a couple of things. We'll fix this SQL server. We'll create this, and that's the password. We'll come in and we'll add it, the secret over here, and then we'll create it. And the next thing is we needed the Redis connection string. I'll go ahead and create this Redis connection string. I have this over here. And the other thing is authority. We need one more thing over here, which is this. And we need audience, whom we are allowing. So this is the audience. And that's the thing. Okay, so now we have our key vaults ready. Now a couple of things we need to discuss and understand over here. So the first thing is, suppose Prakash and me, we both have been given access to this one, and for some reason I'm angry on Prakash, and I go and select one of this item, and I'll delete it. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so I just create one of this item. So I select this because I have access. I just go and delete this one. Okay. So now when Prakash comes and he sees that that entry is not there, so what he can do is he can come in here. It takes a little bit time, but I'm just explaining you the concept. So again, before Prakash comes here, I can come back to this one, manage deleted secrets. I can select it and I can delete it. So what is that? There is no way to recover that, and the systems will not work until unless we come and we fix it. We need to know what are the connection strings. It might be from the partnering team, it might not come directly from us, it might be from the partnering team. So there will be a lot of pain points and tensions until the systems come up. So we have been covered here. So there is something known as soft delete and purge protection. So what does this soft delete means? So soft delete means, what it says is, whenever a key or something, key, secret, or certificate, or some item from this key vault has been deleted, there is a bench where these guys can go and sit from 7 days to 90 days based upon the policies. So what happen is, then what is happening is, it's a guaranteed that it's going to stay if I'm not deleting exclusively. And if I come and try to delete it exclusively, then there is a definitely risk. See, I can come in here and I can either do a recover or I can do a purge. So at this point of time, it is not allowing me to do purge. That's because I have to bump up my permissions, that the purge will not be there by default. So I have to come and I can select this one. Okay, now I bumped up my permissions. I come back over here and manage deleted items. I select I'm angry on Prakash. I say that purge and I say delete. Boom. So now what happened is, Prakash or anyone will not have any clue that what happened to this one. I deleted here and I deleted from the bench. So there is something known as a purge protection. So what does this purge protection does is, it says that whenever a software, this one, purge protection is an optional, and by default it's not yet enabled. We have to enable it. What happens is, the purge protection is, even if I go and delete it, but still it will be there for 7 to 90 days. So I can't go and delete that one. Okay, if the purge protection is enabled, that's the thing. When we are doing that, we have to consider this very much. So we need to have a purge protection in the key vault, so that even if someone tries to delete and plays with this, still it is safe. It will be there from 7 to 90 days, and we can come and recover it. So that's pretty much, we have all these things now. So from this big picture, we have deployed this using the DAC pack, and we have this Redis cache and couple of points on the Redis cache. So you can see this one, the TLS version. It uses, one second, where did I see that? Under the advanced settings, yes, under the advanced settings. So allow access only via SSL, and non-SSL ports we have disabled. And in this one also, the TLS, as we can bump up to 1.2, which is pretty much pretty much a secret stuff. And another important point to the Redis cache was through hardware security model, HSM. I think that is here. Hardware security model. We can have our own. All this keys has been will be maintained by Microsoft. If we have our own HSM where we can generate the keys, we can have that flexibility also. But the keys, whatever Microsoft is supporting by default, should be suffice until unless we have a requirement from the customer or in-house requirement that we need to have our own security thing, HSM, hardware security model keys. We don't need to bump up that. So we spoke about this one, and we spoke about Azure Key Vault. Somewhere we will have that in under the security. So the Key Vault security feature, that is by default this one. Somewhere it should be HSM module will be there where we can use our own this one HSM. So if we have our own HSM, we can go and bump that and use our own. But I think whatever is being provided by Microsoft will be pretty much useful until unless we have our own HSM and we want to use it, right? So from this big picture, we have covered few points, 1, 2, 3. Let's deploy this web API. I'm doing for us to know the internals. I'm doing it this way, but everything will be done through CI/CD. Okay, nothing will be done through this manually. What I'm doing, but this is just for us to understand a little bit of internals. Okay, so I'll come here and then click on this API. When I click API, you will see this the default file. What I'll do is I will go into the Kudu console, advanced tools, and okay, I can go. There's a shortcut. Instead of going that route, I can come in here, add SCM, and that's it. It directly takes us into the Kudu console. So who is providing this default file? Let's see that. Kudu console, it comes up in a minute. There are other ways also to go and modify it. I love Kudu console a lot. So I love this Kudu console a lot. So I can come in here and you can see this log files inside. And here you have the dub root and hosting start HTML. So this is the one which we are seeing at this point of time. So what is that? Time to take the next steps. That's what you will see that somewhere. Yeah, time to take next steps. So that's the file which it flashes when we create an app service. So this proves that we don't have anything. Now it's a time for us also to go and push something. Let's do that. I'll come to this API. So I did it in the source code. We have two versions. One is the version 5 and one is the version 6. So the next month demo when we are doing it, we will do it with version 6 and we'll do some other enhancements. This is the base code which we are taking it, and I select this and click on publish. And this is ugly way I'm doing, I know that, but please ensure that everything will happen through CI/CD. We did partially pushed the CI part. You can see this, the continuous integration builds, which is there in place, and which you can go and click on this actions. And here we have the CI continuous integration. So these things we did execute multiple times. We did execute. We can come in over here and select any one of those thing, and if you get into that, give me control. Okay, if you go and get into that, you can see that books API. Similarly, you have it for the DAC pack as well as for the web application and everything. You have this, you can get into that, and you can come and see that what is that it is going to give when the CI runs. Can double click this and you can see that all the libraries, all the binaries which are going in will come in here. So you can go and individually check that, and it will take 1 more minute of time to see that the web one here, the web one, I can come in here and come to this artifacts, and you can click this web. It gets downloaded pretty quick. It takes a little bit time because it has got a lot of things to get to the it has a lot of things to get to the machine. You can see that. You can see the difference in size because it has got the a lot of C# libraries in the dub. You have this framework apart from our single page application, the Blazor WASM. It has got tons and tons of things which will come. We'll see that in action half hour from now. I think it definitely takes half an hour for us to hook up all those things. Okay, so that being said, we'll come back over here, and I have, this was a dev which we deployed it. Now I'm deploying it in this one, and I don't want to do it at this point of time. We will do it individually, and for this month's demo we are doing with this one, and future will be Azure pipelines and GitHub Actions. There are a lot of things we are going to introduce in this section. Okay, so we have this, and just click on publish, and you can see that it's being published. So I just kept the things open there so that we can go and modify. While this is cooking up, let's come back to this one. So we did store things in Key Vault. How do you use that? How do you access it? So that's the second piece. So there are multiple things. I just want to quickly go and showcase. So here is the one, we have app settings, and definitely we store some credentials here. And there is a bright chance that we might be fixing a bug on Friday, and we need to go and watch a 6:30 movie, and I test it of the stage database, and I know that I fixed the bug. There's a bright chance that I will check in with the stage credentials. Now that is no more secret. By Monday morning, entire organization knows that what is the password of the stage. So one of the ways to protect is we will use the manage secrets. So what happens is this doesn't belong to the source code path. See that the source code path it's coming from d.krishna GitHub, and this secrets.json, it comes from the C users. It goes there. We can come and click on that and open the containing folder. You see that doesn't belong to the source code. So all this secrets will be here. So that's one of the tip. This is the first method. And the second method is, now that the API is up and running, as I was mentioning, that we will get hit with lot of roadblocks. I wantedly planted those. Again, I'm repeating, I wantedly planted those issues so that we'll learn the things hard way. So now that we have this API, it's here. It got deployed. It will start failing. Good that it starts failing. And I know that the endpoint is /API/books, and that doesn't work. That's good. It will take a lot of time, some time for us to go ahead and get these details. We'll learn step by step what is happening. So it says that internal error. Wow, that's good. So how do you go and find what is happening, where it is breaking? So one of the ways, there are multiple ways to do. Some of the ways what I'm showing is my own way. I mean, this is the way I like it. It's my personal choice, but there might be better ways to go and investigate. So as I was mentioning, I really love this guy, Kudu console. Let me come into this log files and this event log. So whatever is, when you do event viewer, whatever you're seeing here on your Windows, you can get into this one, event log. Whatever you're seeing here on your local machine, that is this guy, event log. So this guy is my Bible. I face any problem, I'll come back over here and I'll click on this. So scroll down slowly. So this guy is telling that unable to obtain configuration from system.string. So definitely there is an issue in the connection string. Okay. So now that being okay, and that's one method, and there are multiple ways, and I can come and click on this log streams, and log streams, it says that log streams has been switched off. So to enable this for the next 24 hours, we can come back over here. I'm saying that enable this, enable application, and storage is not configured. Let's configure that. What did I do? I'm sorry. Application log. I'm not following the best practices, folks. My intention is to show the end-to-end demo. While you guys are doing, please ensure that you guys are following the best practices. But some of the things I'm showing, some of the things I'm leaving it for you people to go and chase it. So we have that application logging and file system, and I want to store it for 1 day, or minimum I think it's 7 days. I remember it says 7, but just to save time, I'll make it 7, and I'll say that detailed error messages and failed request tracing, because we need to investigate. This is one of the other way where we can go and find out. So I can come in here to the log streams, and it is connecting. So let's go ahead and hit this guy another time. So it's making something is happening, and it is throwing the same unable to obtain this configuration, which we saw it in the event log over here. And now that we have pushing in a lot of other things, I think this guy should show all those things. So you can see that all those W3C IIS logs, we used to use that log parse lizard and other things to go and get investigate these logs. You can come into this W3C, whatever we have. So we can come and see this one, and a lot of other logs will come. And this is like a keys of the kingdom, but please ensure that it's not getting in wrong hands. So a lot of places you can come and go and investigate. So it's throwing 500 error, and what happened, you can come and see that here. So it says this line number, whatever it is. So other way to investigate. We are seeing this one. Okay, now that we understood this is our problem, let me come in here and go back to site www root and app settings. Wow. So here we didn't store this. Okay. So now that we know that what is the problem, I will copy this guy and paste it here. I mean, everything happens through CI/CD. I just wanted to show the internals what is happening. So that is the reason we are taking this route. Again, I repeat, never ever do this, whatever I'm doing. Now, there's an API one. No, I'm sorry. There's an API one. So when I come to this one API, oh, did I save it? I'm sorry it's my mistake. I'm sorry for that. That's an API one. There's an app setting, and just what I need to replace. Let me go back to the app settings. Let me replace with that. Okay. This is the one which it has to replace. We can come and we can update it from here also. So we can update the username, password, the Redis cache and other things, which we can go and do it. This is one level of protection. So whatever we have it here in our local, will have this to point to the dev databases. And while pushing it through the release pipeline, build pipeline and release pipeline, we will have a token replaces, replace tokens. This is replace tokens is one of the tasks. I mean, there are multiple ways to do it. This is one of the way which we used to do it. So we used to have this replace tokens, and in our pipeline, we'll replace it based on which environment we are building. We'll go and we'll replace that one. So that is one of the mechanism. I just wanted to show you that. Okay. Now I'm canceling it. We don't need that route. So what is the other mechanism which we can do? Other mechanism, what we can do is, I'm showing multiple ways. Other mechanisms is I can come back to this configuration in the configuration section, and I can pretty much go ahead and create this connection strings over here. I can create the connection strings and this one. And one more important point to understand is we have the multi-level things. If you see that under this object, we have the authority. Under this object, it is this one. So when we are using it inside the code, what we will do is we will have this one, authority colon auth 0 authority colon authority auth audience like this. And similarly, we'll be having other configurations also. Okay. App setting connection string, that I'm leaving it. But if you net, if you see that, what do we have based on our app settings? We have parent child kind of thing. So one of the important thing what we need to understand is how do you access it when it goes to the Azure App Service. Okay. Azure connection app service connection string, Azure app service connection string. I never prepared slides. I'm sorry. I love the documentation directly from this sites instead of me going and copying, pasting, and other things. See this. We need to understand that whenever we have this colon, that has to be replaced with double underscore. Okay, the Unix style. So it doesn't work that way. That's one key thing. And another key thing is when you are creating the Azure SQL, that means if you are using the connection string and connection strings, I remove this X. Whenever you're using connection strings and string 1 and string 2, so you should use the connection strings and this one. That's how we access it locally. When we are accessing it locally, we'll access through connection strings like this, the same parent-child relationship. But when it gets deployed, what will happen is if you use the SQL, it will have this kind of things. Let's see that in action. So we need to understand all these things. So if I'm having a similar thing, so let's come and replicate it from our local. So if I have this connection strings, this name is this connections string. That name is this SQL connection string. Okay, SQL connection string some value. Okay, and I'm telling that this is SQL Azure. And I click on OK, and let me save this. And that guy goes and updates the. He might reset that, and we should see that particular entry over here. Now we need to come back to this guy and go to this environment in the Kudu console and just refresh. And what is that we were seeing in the documentation? We were seeing some documentation somewhere. Yep. Come back to this one, and you see that even though we created a connection string called SQL Server connection string, but how does App Service treats it? Because that's a SQL Azure connection string, that guy will prefix the SQL Azure const string. And our code, we will be referring like connection strings colon SQL Server connection strings, and we have to bang our head against the wall, hours together until we come back and do a Stack Overflow Google Google Stack Overflow or something, then these guys will tell that, hey, you have to use this SQL Azure connection string. So the couple tips here. So the first tip is when you use multi-level, ensure that each colon will be replaced with double underscore. And when you are using the connection string blocks, if here, please focus, we are not using the app settings block, we are using the connection strings block. That is representing this piece, connection strings, right? So when you use that, please ensure that you will remember these prefixes. If it is SQL Server, it will SQL, constr, MySQL, SQL Azure, custom, and Postgres. These are the some tips to ensure that you're not having sleepless night on Friday. Anyways, we are having a sleepless night today. Now it is Friday, 8:40, but still we are here. Okay, jokes apart, let me come back to this one. Now let's start creating the new application settings. I again, there's an FII. There will be problems. I wantonly injected it. Okay. Now the first thing is we need to go back to the Key Vault guy. Now we need to go back to the Key Vault guy and come back to the secrets. We need the URLs. Okay, that's there. Just want to ensure that to save a lot of time. I think we will face problem if it is. That's what did I copy? It's audience. Okay, the first one is audience. Okay, the second one is authority. We need to get this reference. And the third one is Redis connection string. We'll come back to Redis connection string. And fourth one is SQL connection string. Right. Now let's come back to the documentation. How do you use that? So you can use multiple ways. Either you can use this way or this way. The secret UI, they have given pretty good documentation. We have to use this one. And one more important point I really forgot. I really apologize for that. I should have started with this. The naming convention. These are the pretty good documentation, and we should keep it as a Bible every time we go and refer this before we create anything. Now see this, the naming convention. They are saying that the resource type, the workload, environment, region, and instance, something like that. And this is the page. Please bookmark this one. Is a very good place. Yeah, they have given what abbreviations you should have for the resource type here in the first place. Like it is APIM and everything for networking and for compute, everything. I mean, I followed this one to create all these resource groups. Never ever use like my resource group, his virtual network, their database. No, please follow this document, and everyone knows that. If you see our naming convention, whatever we took it in a different way. You can see that RG, that means resource group, Microsoft Reactor. Okay, we are doing an event here. So what is that? Cloud native application. This is dev resource group. This is the first instance. Now you can see that APIM. By reading this, anyone can tell that. Even if I hide this column, by seeing this, you can say that, okay, this is an API management, and this is app service, and this is application inside. This is app service plan, and this I didn't follow. I apologize for that. But Key Vault, and Redis, and this is SQL. That means SQL Server, and this is SQL DB. So everything we followed the naming convention. I would encourage you to please keep this as a reference all the time you create it, even though it takes some time. But let's stick to the game plan on that to use it. It helps everyone to understand. We speak the single language. Now I'm going and copying that. Okay, and this is the second one. The third one. This is the fourth one. Right. So we are almost there, folks. Right. We are almost there. We are done. Okay. So now what we will do is we already placed all these credentials. Now let's start creating the configuration. So let me come back to the, did I start it? Yeah, I started it here. So there's a prod. Yes, there's a prod. So first thing is I'm telling that I want authority audience. And this is the first place we'll start seeing red first issue. Okay. I wanted those issues to come. Okay. And the second one. Second one is this. And this is the third one. One more to go. Bear with me. The third one, and there's a final one. Now we'll start how we debug in production. What we do, isn't it? We deploy to dev or test or stage and we'll say that, hey, it's not working. Come, let's chase it. So now that's what we are going to do in next 10-15 minutes. We'll chase this. Assume that we pushed it to the dev. We need to give it to the QA and things start blowing off. Okay, red keys. So this is where we are having no clue what is happening. Okay, so the next thing what we will do is we'll go to this identity. As I was mentioning, there are multiple ways to do. One of the way which I'm doing is my personal choice. It might be a best practices or it might be a worst practices, but this is some of my personal choice. But I did a system assign. That means if I delete this API, this whatever the identity or this service principal which I created, that gets deleted automatically. Okay, so now I copied this, come back to the Key Vault and go to this access policies. As I was mentioning, folks, everything should happen through release pipeline or some other automation, but never ever do this whatever I'm doing. I'm a bad guy. So let's click on the service principal, go and paste that ID. So that guy says that this is an API. I select this API and I want only the get and list. Okay, the get should be suffice, but for some reason I'm giving it the get also, sorry, the list also, but you can see that I have the purge protection, but this guy has got only one thing. We'll come back to the purge protection where I was talking about that. I want to practically show you guys on that one. So that being said, we have given this permissions. Now we'll come back to this guy and go to the top and select this. Let me stop and restart this. Okay. So sometimes this icon that doesn't show. See that it's late. No problem. That should be fine. Being a developer, we know that these temporary glitches are there. Even I wrote code, there are a lot of glitches. Even I'm writing now, they're allowing me to write. Okay, you see this, now it's turning green. Hey, come on, what is this? Ooh, did I mistyped anything here? I ensured that Redis connection string. Okay. Okay, we'll see about that. If it is not working, we'll see. My mind is not accepting, so let me come back and did I copy it properly? Now let me go to the secrets, and what was that? It was for the Redis cache, Redis connection string, and click on this and click on copy, and let me come back over here. See that I missed the first portion. The first portion should be the secret URI. So that I missed it. It was my typo, fat finger, or whatever it is. Okay. Now it's a real-time issue. Now I save this. Now it should turn green for sure, because we have, yeah, it automatically turned green the moment we keyed in the proper thing. It was there. So there are multiple things which we learned. One thing is we can have this app settings in local, or use the secrets JSON to store your credentials in your local. And if you want to use the connection string itself, you can use it, but ensure that we are modifying that through the release pipeline and build pipeline. Whatever is applicable in your scenario, go and modify that. And the third option, what we saw this, we can go and create this connection string and have a string literals directly. That means I'm going to directly store these uh, keys of the kingdom inside this connection string. And the fourth method or mechanism is I can go and store everything in the key vault and just give the reference to that. So this is the safest approach, right? So so suppose I have 4 to 5 APIs which are pointing to the same Redis key, or the connection, some common API or some connection string I want to point out. So in this scenario where we have a string literals, I need to go and update all those things. Now I don't need to worry any of those things, because the thing is stored in the key vault. Everyone, all 5 projects, they have to refer to this key vault. Only if I refresh that, that means if I go ahead and create a new version, if I want to come in here, I can create a new version. In that case, if I'm using with this, I need to go and update it. If not, the other mechanism what we can use is we can directly use the stop till here. That means whatever is the my secret, we are not having that version number. So it should pick up the latest version, whatever is applicable. But see that whether you're using the secret or secret and the version. For some reason you want to switch between 2 versions for testing or whatever it is, we can use this one. And if it is this, it takes the latest. You can do based on your uh, project applicability, what goes best in your project. Okay, so now that we discussed everything, let's start hitting. Cross your fingers, because I'm going to waste my time. Now we will see 500 exception. It goes, it tries, and it says a 500 internal exception. Wow, looks like we are doing some project together. This is what we face it every day in, day out. So I just wanted to replicate those production scenarios and the debuggings. Now let's come back here and jbolo logs key, and come on, send that. Wow, so it says that it was unable to make the connection. And what it says, and it says that it's trying to hit the URL. It went into this one, but it could not. Here it says that, see, an unhandled exception when I tried to this one. It says that the client IP with 20.49.104.35. So where do you get this IP? You can come into this properties. Ow. Where are you? Right. If you come to this properties, you can see that outbound IPs. Okay. So one of the IP is this 104.35. That's what I remember. Anyways, I'll store it here so that we can do a reconciliation. Ow. Go back to this guy, log stream. And again, you can depend on our close friend, Kudu console. It's your personal choice whether you want to go ahead with this Kudu console, where we already seen some of the techniques to hunt down the issues. You can come in here, get into this event log, and go to the bottom of this. You will find the same exception or the details over here also. So you'll say that he's not able to go. 104.35. So 104.35 is one of the last. This one. 2049 104.35. That means it's not allowing IP from Azure. Okay. So now we need to come back to our close friend SQL Server. This guy, SQL Server. Go to the show firewall settings and select this. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. So connections from the IP specified below provides an access to all the database in the SQL production. So we are saying that all the IP addresses of the Azure should be able to hit this guy. Okay. So now that we did that, let's do. We might get 401. I don't know whether this is valid or not. Okay, all is well then. So we have successfully able to get that because we don't have any data at this point of time. That's very well. Good. What is the next step? Let me come back to this diagram. So we done this, and this. Okay. So let's hunt this guy now. APIM is a very, very important point. So let me come back over here. Do I need to create a rel? Let me do that. Let me go and get that so that we can create one row. Come on. I need to do a re-login. Just give me a minute, please. Okay. Come on, you should have given me. Now it's giving me control. Okay, that should be fine. Better late than never. Okay. Okay, I got this. Let me go into response. I will take this. Yeah. And directly put it in post. And in the body, raw application by JSON. And I will remove this additional things. I think ID, I don't need it because it will generate its own. So that's one thing. Title and author name and is active, ISBN and pages. I think there should be a beautify icon somewhere. I'm not able to locate it at this point of time, but there will be a beautify icon. Or there is another tip. You have there's a lot of JSON validators. There's JSON lint is one of the thing which I frequently use. You can come in here and click on validate. That gives beautification. I think there is a definitely. I remember there is a thing here itself. So now I go and send this. It has created. Now let's take this guy. Go to another tab and do a get. That was a post. This was a get. Okay, because I have forgot this header. Oh, I think I created this token for 1 day or something, 10 hours or something, because I don't want to spoil the demo. Now you see that whatever we created, it is coming out. So it's all good at the step number step number 5. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. We handled 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's hunt down the APM. And APM is a pretty good thing. And I'll speak about few points in APM before we jump into action. So let me close all these things. I think I can open it on demand. Oh, didn't I save this? Okay, I think I saved it. Yeah, that's the reason it's coming. Let me go back to this prod resource group, and let me select this APM instances. So a few years ago, definitely till 2019 and 2020, yeah, 2019 and 2020 also, we used to work in the API gateways. Even now, people work on the API gateways. What is that API gateway is? Like, we worked on the service fabric cluster. So we have set of backend APIs, like whatever we have this books API here. Let me go back out this one. Let me close all these things. Let me create a duplicate of this so that I can explain better. Go to home, click on the prod and API. So what are these API methods we have? We host this on the backend cluster of the service fabric, and we will have the IP restriction. Even though I give you the username password of this endpoint and the contract, what goes in as an input and what comes out of the output, you will not be able to hit it because that's on the backend servers of the service fabric cluster. And we have an IP restrictions. Only the API gateways from the service fabric cluster are the only people who can go and hit the backend, the middle tier or backend API, whatever you call it. So this APIs will be hit only through the API gateways. So what does this API gateway do? API gateway takes this input, whatever is coming from the UI, and it strips off some of the parameters or adds some of the parameters, do a validation of the JWT token and do a little bit of massaging of this input and pass this to the backend API in the service fabric cluster. These guys go talk to the messaging service bus queues or whatever it is, SQL database or MongoDB, get the content, give it back to the API gateway, and API gateway will do some more massaging and spit it on to the UI or caller, whoever is calling this guy. And if you have 10 different APIs, we used to write 10 different API gateways. I don't need to exaggerate. Let me speak 2. Realistic, we had 2. So we had 2 backend APIs and we have 2 API gateways. Technically, API gateway was acting like a postman, like whatever it was doing. Take this input, call an API, get the output. So same thing. We used to have the API gateway. Unnecessarily, we have to maintain a lot of code and need to do DDoS protection or whatever these things are coming in. We need to ensure that. Now, API gate, by using this API management, we don't need to do all these things. This has got lots and lots of facilities, and it itself is a series and episodes we can do on API management. So I will give you a 30,000 or 60,000 foot thing on this one. So with this API, what we can do is we can have a blank or WebSocket, or you can create it with the Open API, WSDL. WSDL. This is the one which I worked in 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7 or 8 years I worked on that ASMX .NET 1.x framework. I really love that. And then from the logic app, from the function app, from the app service. And let me go and do that. I want to keep it to a pretty minimum, but wherever I can speak, I will speak on that one. So we have this. I go and create it. Now this guy creates an API gateway for me. So that goes and creates this one. Let's wait on that one. And come on. I'll have a glass of water, folks. Give me 1 minute time. So now that has got all those things. It brings in that API, whatever we are supporting, it will be here. And another thing is, suppose we don't have an API which is ready. So what we can do is we can create a blank API, or we can create a endpoint. We can create an endpoint, and we can mock the response. So see this, mock response from Azure API Management. This is the fantastic thing. You can use it. See this one, mock API responses. Like the backend is not yet ready. The backend is not yet ready. Then how do you test it? So what we can do is we can go ahead and create a blank API, and then give the name endpoint, whatever the endpoint name. Just give the endpoint name, and select this, add a test API, and then add an operation, and say that okay, that response should be 200, and I'm going to spit what is the data type and what should be the sample content. That's it. When someone hits that endpoint, they definitely get it, the mock response. Another thing is this IP filtering. IP filtering is I can filter some of the IPs based on my analysis. If the large number of calls are coming in from here, and we know that customer doesn't work from that location or that region or country, whatever it is, we can start blocking those IPs, and we can have a rate limit. Rate limit is the one which I really love. That means realistically, if it is an e-commerce site or the bookstores itself, whatever we are doing, the bookstore, for me to add a record, add a book, how much time it will take? I need to click on this this icon, it goes to there. I need to fill 5 fields and click on add, and it will come back to here. Now you can calculate. It might take 20 seconds or 30 seconds or 45 seconds based on whether you have passed typewriting higher or lower, whatever it is. Jokes apart, that time we need to calculate how much time it takes. So based on that, we can rate limit. I can say that one particular IP, I should not get add a record for more than 6 times in a minute or more than 20 times in a minute, because that might be virtually impossible until unless that guy has passed a typewriting expert, and he can able to place more than 20 books in 1 minute. So we can calculate that, and definitely we need to use a rate limit. Okay. And another thing is we can protect this API to validate, because anyone can come and hit. We can have this. This is one of the thing. We will go ahead and give this authentication that we are going to do that in a moment. And some of the things is we can do the response transformation. Suppose we are dealing with the old SOAP over XML ASMX web services, and that exists in production even today, guys, and we are working on that, but it's most unfortunate. And another thing is, if it is coming as part of the XML, and the clients are all React, Blazor, WASM, or Vue.js or Angular 12, all those kind of spa which are using it, and they say that I don't use XML, could you please transform and give it to me in JSON. It's a pretty simple, it's just a tag, we need to add it to this one, and that guy takes care of everything. And also, suppose we have created this here, and we are selling it to multiple people. That means I'm selling it to Prakash, I'm selling it to Manish, I'm selling it to Mithun Nair, multiple people I'm selling it. And I can say that, okay, Prakash, are you going to hit this API 10 times or 100 times or 200 times, or how much kilobytes of content you're going to download? And Prakash says that my download is only 100 KB per day, so I can have that limit also. We'll see that few things in action. But some of the things is I was mentioning the transformation and other things which are there. I think that 60,000 foot introduction is good. I think we can go and start implementing it. Okay. So the first thing is, I mean, without making too much of problem, well, let's do it pretty simple thing. I want to test this, and I click on that test. And as I was mentioning, I'll create a lot of errors so that we'll understand that. Okay, so it says that it is not found because it is trying to hit this. Okay, so one thing what we have to do is we need to come back over here. Will say that API slash books, because that's technically that's the endpoint which gives the content slash API slash books. Okay, so click on send. It says unauthorized, accepted. So authorization, let me steal it from here. Come in and put it here. And can you give me that? Okay, it's giving us the content. That's pretty much unexpected. So what we understand is when we create an API management, this API here, we know that whatever the default it is there. And on top of that, we need to add the endpoint. Where do you add that? We add it over here. And if at all this is being needed, this authorization is needed, we have to send the authorization to the downstream system. This is multiple things we can sit and discuss and talk about this one. See, we can say that, hey Swami, we are having the API management and it is validating the JWT token. Why do we need to go ahead and redo the same thing in the backend? For multiple reasons, because we can do a IP filtering. The backend services should allow only the outbound from this API. It's valid, we can do that. But it's a multiple thing. Maybe we are calling the third party system and that guy needs an authentication. Could be multiple reasons. I mean, you guys are the best judge on your project whether to validate the JWT here and keep this wide open to the entire world and hackers. It's a welcome invitation to them. It depends upon the project requirement, and jokes apart. So let's try this from our postman. Sorry, my quality of jokes are a little low. I will go ahead and hit it. Let's learn the things very hard way. So it says that 404 access denied, and we are assuming that we need to pass this access token. I come to authorization and I keep the value and I say that, hey, this guy is still saying access denied. Hey, I provided you the token. Something is missing? Yes, something is definitely missing. Is this APIM subscription key? I'll come here and I pass this APIM subscription key and I will add this over here. And now you see that. So now what is happening is, come back, and so you're through Postman, you're hitting this guy is going and hitting this guy is going getting the credentials from here and is talking to these two folks. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are down. Okay, so another thing, a tip here, there are no environments. Let me add an environment. I'm calling it as dev. And what do I do with this dev? I come in here, I will copy this and I'm calling it as APIM key. I'll store this, click on add and close this. And I come back over here, I said dev, I selected the dev and I don't want to give this. I already gave it here. I will go and use the APIM key. So come on, man. Now it works. So this is some of the tips where you would like either don't want to type this, you can come in here all the way and go back to your this one, and this is APIM endpoint, and drop this over here and click on update. Close this. What was the name I given? I don't remember. I'm sorry for that. A short-term memory. APIM. It was caps, isn't it? Okay, that's one. Boom. That was API endpoint. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. Typo. It should be APIM. Let me update it. Close this. Now this guy will work because I don't need this. These are some of the tips. So you can have this endpoint. So you can switch this environment. Right now, this endpoint points to the dev. Suppose I have the test and prod and stage and other things. I can create one of this invocation and then switch between the environments. I don't need to switch any of those things. The APM key and the API endpoint, everything will be there because this is only dev. So similarly, we can go and add multiple environments and we can switch the environment. Rest of the things are as it is. So this is one of the tips which I have given. Okay, so I think we'll see some of the other things. Come back over here and let's go to the design. So this is a pretty good thing. I can see this IP filtering, rate limit, the mock responses, and course origin. This is the one which we are going to work, and we can do the cache responses. We don't need to hit that. Or this is quota limit, that how much bandwidth or the content which we have to send, and validate JWT. And there are a lot of other policies also, but at a high level, these are some of the things which we can do. Okay, and we know that how to test also. We tested all those things. Now what I do is I have to go and add these blocks, two blocks. One is to cars and one is for JWT validation. So I copy that and I go here. How did am I doing it for that? API for all operations. I want to do it for all operations, and click on this and I paste it over here. So what is the endpoint? The Blazor WASM. Oh, it's not yet done. Okay, no problem. We'll do that. As of now, I'll store this one. And here also we have given the JWT authentication. Let me save this. We have to come back. Oh, I have that. Why I didn't do that? I'm really sorry. We already have it. Whether we deployed it or not, that's a different story. But at least we have the endpoint ready. We can go and come on. Can you give me? This is the guy. That's the endpoint. Okay, this is a prod website, Azure website, and that's the one. Okay, perfectly fine, fair enough. We have done that. So we have cars and we validate. We have validated this one. Okay, so after tightening the loose ends, still we should be able to go and get the content perfectly. We are getting it. So how many people are down? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's come back to 2. So 2. So let's come back to this. It's just a hello world, guys, and I'm going to publish. Azure, Windows, web, publish file, finish. And I publish it. Okay, now let's discuss a couple of points on Blazor WASM. I always use the documentation which is coming out of the box. I really love. I can't do better job than these big companies. They do it. All I have to do come and steal some pieces of this and showcase it. Better, I thought I will showcase it from here. So one difference between the Blazor server and Blazor WASM, you can see that the Blazor server, the entire code gets executed on the server, and only the HTML markup gets pushed, and the connectivity between these two happens through the signal R. And again, this is a 60,000-70,000 foot introduction. And the Blazor WASM, what happens is entire assemblies, the .NET assemblies and the Razor components and the web assembly, everything will get downloaded. We'll see that in action in a couple minutes from now. So everything is there, including the DOM. So you're not leaving this browser until unless you're hitting an external API to bring some content. Apart from that, everything you're playing within this browser. So if once you download this to the browser and you are not making an API call, in that case, even if your internet connection is down, still you can go ahead and play with this, because everything, all the libraries, C# libraries, everything is there on your local machine. You don't need to go and talk to any server. Whereas in this, every click will go and hit the server. Okay, that's one thing which I wanted to highlight that one. And also you can see that it's packing up everything and dropping it there. So a lot of things are there. Again, we'll go back. We'll prepare ourselves for the same investigation things which we were doing it. I think we can close that guy, and this guy is also up and running. We'll go in here and let's play with this. I don't need this, I don't need this, and I am copying this and use it here. And again, you know that the starting HTML markup, whatever you see, is by default. Okay, now it shows the site under construction, so pretty good. It knows that we are deploying it. SCM dot. Oh, typo. SCM dot. It comes and it takes us to the same Kudu console. I just want to show you another way to do it. There are a couple other ways to do it. So other ways I can go and click on this console. I'm calling it as a mini version of whatever we have seen. That you can a console guy, you can see the same dub root, the site, whatever you're seeing through the console can pretty much you can see it from here also. And the other mechanism is through this editor, the service editor. I can get into this service editor and come on, do you take that much time? I'll close it, we'll come back to that. Let me showcase that. Console might be because it's deploying. Oh, okay, deployment is done. So you can do a DAR and it should show that did it fail? Oh, restarting the web app. Okay, that might be the reason. How much time you need it? Oh, are we troubling it? That might be the reason. Let's give it a minute, guys. I think we were touching it at the wrong time. I think we might need to redeploy this. Oh, okay, okay. That's giving us an opportunity to talk. Right, so the couple of mechanisms which we were talking, yeah, this is a web. And the first mechanism was through console, and the second is through Kudu, and the third is through this guy. So let me, yeah, we are here and we can do a DAR. We can see that this HTML file is there and this dub root is there, and cd dub root, and I do a DAR. You see this, all the files are here. Okay, that's if you're a console guy, you can use that. And if you want a click guy like me, you can come to this app service editor and click on go, and you can see this entire site, that this HTML file and this we were playing with, and the production, everything. I mean, you can come and if you want to modify something, I don't suggest, but don't take my words seriously. You can come and I can do some kind of tweaking here if I want to adjust the pixels and other stuff. and everything you can come and see this framework, what gets downloaded. You have seen that the Blazor WebAssembly and the .NET WASM WebAssembly. It's what we saw in the picture, isn't it? All the C# DLLs, C#. You can see that the C# DLLs, everything is getting downloaded. I think that is pretty much. We have a lot of things to chase. Let me close everything and let me stick here. The Kudu console, my favorite guy. I need 1 more minute to have a glass of water. Thank you, folks. Okay, so this is our final chase. Again, there will be a lot of problems in this. Wantedly, I'll be doing troubling you people, not showing the site. Okay, this is a production site. We don't want HTTP, we want the HTTPS version. I do the HTTPS version, and that guy, okay, this is what is very, very important. You need to come to the network tab and just give it a minute. Now, right mouse click, empty cache, hard refresh. I think that it has downloaded everything because that's the first time it does it. Let's give that a shot in incognito window. I wanted to show you that. Let me open an incognito window, and I open this, go to the network tab, and folks, see that tons and tons of files are coming in. All the, you can see that all the bootstrap and the Blazor WebAssembly JS file, which brings in friends and family. And you can see that .NET Blazor WASM somewhere here. It should be there at the bottom. Yeah, .NET Blazor WASM. Everything is coming in here. And a caution is that do not ever store anything in your app settings. But I'm doing this is a demo because what happens is technically that app settings file will also get downloaded. Because here if I'm using this authentication or security token, everything will be exposed here. So as a word of caution, that we need to ensure that we are not storing anything which is of secret here. So that's the first time it happens. It downloads everything here and it takes the first hit, and I'm going and clearing it off, and now I'm saying that refresh and reload. You can see that it is reloading only those files which are of these things. It's not loading any of the C# DLL until unless we do another push, and one of the C# DLL has been .NET DLL has been updated. It's not going to download there. That's one point. And another point is here, if I come in, it says that we are not authorized because this is the only one we left it open, and you click on any of those things, it is not working. Okay, that is fine. I click on login and it says that something is wrong. Okay, a lot of things are wrong, but let's start fixing one by one. So the first thing is we will come back to the Kudu console and go to our app settings guy here, and let me copy that block. I already kept it here. Let me copy that guy, paste it over here, and we know that that's one thing. Let's get these two things. One is the API. I want to store it there. One is this API. We want to test both things. And one is the API endpoint. Click on edit. Let me get the API endpoint. Cancel. Close that. And that's the one. Okay. So we have the API as well as APM. So just wanted to show you a variation, whether you can go ahead and hit with that or with this. It should be fair enough. I mean, we'll use only the API management, but I want to show you a couple of variations also. So we have this auth0 and the client ID, and the code is an authentication mechanism, and this is the API URL. I don't want that APM initially. I want to test with API. Okay, I saved the changes. Where did I save? Here. Just to be doubly sure, I am pasting it over here too. Right now we are with that. And once I do it, I come back over here, I do empty cache and reload. It's bringing in all those things. We can go and check the app setting files. So it didn't bring that latest one. Did we save it? There's a prod and I'm hitting the prod. Yes, that's a prod. So let's quickly check that. Did it save it? No. What did we do? Did I save? Sorry, folks. What did I do? Okay, I pasted it. I clicked on save. I want to ensure that yes, it is saved now. And I clicked on this one and I click on save. Let me come back over here. Just want to be doubly sure that I have saved the thing. Okay, now it appears. Now it appears. Okay, so let's give that a shot. I hope Prakash, you are not modifying that. Just as a joke. I'm sorry. Okay, so things has come. So we have the authority and all those things, and still it doesn't work. So I click on that. It tries to go somewhere, and I don't know where it goes, but it doesn't work for sure. So it says my face. It shows my face saying that, hey, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Okay, good that it's not working. So let me copy this and come back to auth0. I love this guy very much, auth0. So here we have the callback URLs. I am pasting the current callback URL saying that authentication login callback. Technically, I should do a little bit more work. I was lazy. I didn't do it. So sorry for that. I have to paste it at the first location, and here also I should paste in the first location because it doesn't work. Two places. So allowed callback, that's one thing. And the second thing is here, allowed logout URL. So we pasted this, the entire URL, and we do save. And one important point to discuss at this point of time is when I was referring the documentation, I used this documentation to set it up, the securing the Blazor WebAssembly app. And this guy has given step by step what has to be done. Please go refer this documentation, and I just followed him blindly how to do that. And one important point we are going to discuss is the tokens. We'll discuss in next couple minutes in that one. So one small thing he mentioned, it was not working for me. So what he suggested is he suggested to go and to the tenant settings and add in default audience. So that means basically it should work, but for that reason, when it was not working, he has to go to the tenant settings, and inside the tenant settings, he asked to add the default audience here, so that it started working. Okay, that's a little bit of story. Uh, I think it should work now. So let me do. Okay, it picked up the old one. So I do a logout. So it goes, it logs out, and I do a login, and it comes up, and I do demo user one $. Okay, so it comes up. That's a thumbs up for us. So let's come back to this application. I want to speak on this one. In the local storage, if you come and you can see that a lot of things which are coming in here, and so here there are two tokens. One is the ID token, other one is the access token. Copy value. Let's come back to gwt.io. So I paste this. What is that? I took it. That was an ID token. So when you see this ID token, that's giving me some extra information, which is not good for my health. It's a demo user and my name, my picture, and whatnot. It's giving me a little bit more than what it is. Copy value. And here you can see this is it's like a cut down version. It's not exposing any of those things, but it says that, okay, who is the issuer and who are the audience who can use. So this is the audience which we added, and it's a little bit, we have the expiry and small cut down version of this one. Now let's come back to a little bit of documentation. Okay, that is very high. Yeah, here. So here what's happening is this guy, I mean, the ID token is the one where you are having more information. So you can take this ID token. We might have the claims and other things. We can use that ID token to build our UI. So what menu options is allowed and other things. But when we are doing an exchange, do not use that ID token to gain access into API. So what should we use? We should use the we will use this access token. So access token is a proof that, okay, you are a legitimate guy. You bought your token from somewhere and you're giving it. So that's the legitimate guy. So you will use that. Okay. That being said, let's come back to the network tab. So I click on this and I click on this. So you see this, I'm not going anywhere out. So I click on count, this one, and it is that it has to go and bring in the content from the JSON. So here, whenever I'm doing a C# code, when I'm executing a C# code on this one, so but still I'm not leaving this site. Okay, so if I come back here, just even I want to understand whether whatever I'm telling is correct or not, I will stop this site. Okay, I will come back to this one. I can technically go to home because until unless I'm not going and calling in any external server, the network activity should not happen. So I can come here, I can click this, and again I'm coming in here and going in here, and I do fetch data, and I do this one. That's where it breaks. So other things which are using it here, it will work because as we discussed, it is going to bring down, it is going to download all the content to the client machine. So the first hit is a big hit because we have to bring in many many files. So I'll do this one and cache. You can see that. Um, did it boot up or not? Okay, so see that it's going to bring that one and all the DLLs are not okay because it knows that it already C# DLLs are already there in the cache, so it's not bringing in those things. So these are a couple of other points, and now I can go and click on this one, and it says that uh, 401. Where am I going? This one. What did I do? Yeah, I have to switch. I have to switch this because my intention is to use the bookstore API, right? So let's come back over here and do this one. So let it bring the app settings file. Okay, so again I'll come back over here, refresh it. So it is going and bringing this one. So you see that when it goes to this, it is going and hitting the API. It is going and hitting the API. It's not hitting the APIM. So that's the difference. App is what our API. You can see that. App is this one. So now I'll flip that with our APIM instance. Now technically we need to go and hit the API. Let's do that. Access denied. That's good. Okay, let me log out and log in. Might be, did I miss something? Let me check in over here. App setting productions. Oh, this one. Subscription key. What is the subscription key of this guy? There's a prod and there's a subscription key. And that subscription key, I will add it over here and click on save. And let me come back to this one and ensure that everything is coming in. I do a login. Demo user one, sample $123. And okay, we are there. I do the book list. There you go. So it created the book, and you're seeing that one response, which is of this. I would like to add at least 2 records. Oh, my best friend. And M101, and that's 101. This is another one I'm going to add. Charge is C#. A as active, and G101, and I add this 2. So we have 3 records. Okay, so you can come back to Postman and do a API. It gives 3 records. I can hit the API. I can come back to APIM. I'm hitting that APIM. It's here, and I have the Blazor WASM. It works. I go here and come in here, and that's the small demo which we wanted to do, just without getting into the details of how the code works. I mean, we used C# and Dapper, but we will do a lot of variations coming days. We use Redis cache. Oh, I forgot to speak one point on the Redis cache. Let me quickly go, and then we can go on Q&A. Here we did the cache aside pattern. I just wanted to discuss that. That was there in the title, but the express train did not stop there. It was my mistake. We can come back to console. So that okay. So I'll take quick 5 minutes before giving the floor for Q&A. What is this cache asset pattern? What we implemented this. So here in this business layer, when I am bringing in the content, let's assume this is the first time I'm going and getting the content, get all methods. So when I'm doing this get all methods, the first thing what I do is I go and get this from the Redis cache to check whether do you have any entry, the key value pair. Do you have any entry with this particular key? Get all books. So what happens is either it returns an empty string or it returns the content. If it is an empty, if it is a non-empty string, that means I already have the content in the Redis cache. I don't need to go and hit the SQL database. So I just do a deserialize and spit these books out. And the scenario two is, I didn't have time to showcase this. It was my mistake. I planned it, but I'm sorry for that. So if the string is empty, so in that case, we come to the else block. First, we go get the content from the SQL server and then save a copy here in this one. Okay, this is in the time of get. Let's assume that I bought the content of books and I stored it. Imagine a scenario where Prakash is going and is updating Mithun's record. It's not 101 pages, it is 202 pages. So he clicks on this edit and he modifies that. So in that case, what will happen is either he's adding a new record or he's modifying a record or he's editing a record. So any operation in which you go and store the data in the SQL server, that means there is a mismatch. So whatever, let's assume that Prakash has added a new book on Java. So we have C# 2 books and PMP 1, and now Prakash has added one book Java and author is Mohit Chabra. So in that case, what is happening is my the Redis, the content in the Redis has got 3 rows, but the content in the SQL server has got 4 rows. So that is 100% mismatch, and our code never goes and hits the SQL database because it always comes to this block and it finds that something is there and it goes into the if block. It never hits this one. So in any place where you are updating the single source of truth or the key database, the main database, when you're updating it, so what is happening is the moment you go and we add the book, the moment you add the book, now there is an inconsistency. What is there in the SQL server is not matching with what is there in the Redis cache. At that time, it is our duty to go and remove all. If it is an edit, again you need to go and remove all as well as that particular record, because at this point of time we implemented only the get functionality, but eventually in future episodes we will definitely bring in the entire operations like get all, get by id, edit and delete. The entire CRUD operations will do. In that case, what will happen is if I'm editing a single row, I have to first come to this list of data and select any one of this. So in that case, what will happen? Our Redis cache will have all books as well as the ID, book to ID. So there will be another entry with 1_book. That means that particular. So anytime I come back, cancel, I don't want to do anything, and again I come back, edit, I don't need to go and get it from the database because it's already there here in this Redis cache. I will display that. And imagine a scenario, I go and update Mithun Nair's record. So in that case, I need to do 2 things. One is delete that entry where we stored it, or we can go ahead and update the content and store it so that someone doesn't need to go and hit the database. But this all books, this record has to be nuked, because that's the mismatch. What is there in Redis cache is not matching with this one. Different strategies, but we need to ensure that it is our duty to go and clean up. And some people, they say that I'll store the data for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. No, that's not, that might not work. I don't want to be a little harsh. That might not work, because anytime we change the data, we need to come and invalidate that, not to store these things. And also the naming convention should be pretty readable, not a shortcut AB 18 1B 2B. No, be little be little religious to find out, give a good name. And also ensure that how much content you're bringing in. Are you bringing in 1,000 rows and storing it? And if that whatever the 53 or 56 MB data which is coming by default, will it be enough, or do you need to do a cluster and have two different instances, or the sharding kind of thing, where you have two different things, 53 plus 53 or 56, I don't remember, I'm a little confused between 53 and 56. It's one of those numbers, and adding up to that is 106, or yeah, 106, I think it is 53, I remember. So if it is 10, it is 530, like that you will have to do. And don't store everything in one place, store it in a cluster. And that's it. I will give the control back to Floor so that we can go for a Q&A.
Swami, there's one question from Erwin. Would you like to just see that question?
Yes, please. What is that? Where's the query?
Let me just unmark that one for you. Okay. Can you see now? So his question is like, is this example, can we use versionless key vault? So just put URL without Git, for example.
Oh, Erwin, here. This one? 846?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So I never used, one second. In this example, can we use versionless? Yeah, correct. Without GUID. Correct, that's correct. I didn't understand the question. Now I understood it. So use this one this way, the versionless. But I showed it in a hard way, but this is the easiest way. You can do this one also. You can use both. So anything else?
Yes, there is another question from Arvind and Vasant Kumar.
Okay. I will first take, does Blazor client supported by all browsers and mobile? That's a good question. We need to check what browsers it's supporting as of today. It supports what thing it is supporting. We need to check that. And let's check that one, whether Blazor supports by all browsers, because some of the browsers it might not support, but I think any browser should work, because any browser which is supporting a SPA technically should work. It is no different. It is the same same thing. Okay. So is there any reason choosing auth instead? Okay, this we are planning a bigger picture, because wanted to show a variation. because at this point of time we are working with Auth0. So in future we work with Azure AD as well as the web API with our own ASP.NET identity and also the identity server, just to showcase a wide variety of options. How do you integrate with Auth0? How do you integrate with Azure AD? How do you integrate with identity server? How do you integrate with your own web API? You are maintaining the username passwords. So multiple variations on that, Erwin. So this is the start or a beta in this architectural series, what we are planning it. But eventually, maybe next month or a month after that, we are going to show taking the same Blazor WASM app, how does it gets deployed in multiple places. So this wasn't what I'm telling is the Blazor client as the Blazor WASM, which has come pretty recently last year, and they're improvising a lot. I see the difference between .NET 5 and .NET 6, and when I use a .NET 6 and tried debugging, it was working better than .NET 5. So day by day, it is increasing its popularity. And before choosing the any technology, maybe it's a C# or a Blazor WASM or Angular 12 or a React or a Vue or just a plain vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Before choosing anything, we need to do a thorough tech feasibility, like what all the things which we need to support in the production, what all those things are there. We need to do a thorough tech feasibility, and whether this particular technology supports that, then we need to choose it. It depends upon what tech feasibility we do and what part of the performance testing we do it. Yeah. Any more queries? You want to add something, Prakash?
Yeah, so I was just planning to add on this Blazor, right? So as you rightly said, that it's a relatively new technology, but since because of its speed, it has the potential to be popular in future. So, just I think it, and one more advantage is that people who don't know like JavaScript, they can very much code on this technology. So it has a good future. This is what I can foresee.
The entire stack. I
Yeah.
+1 on that. That you have an API, you have libraries, Redis cache or whatever you have, in C#. And you can, if you're good in TypeScript and it suits, you can write an Angular JS,
Correct.
Angular and Blazor. This one, sorry, React with TypeScript or React with JavaScript or Vue with TypeScript, Vue with JavaScript. Anything you can play, mix and match. I mean, it depends upon what tech stack folks you have and what is the learning curve on this new project. Okay. Rashmita?
Yeah, I think we don't have any more questions, so we can wrap up for
Mhm.
today. So
Okay.
thank you, Prakash, and thank you, Swami, so much for today's session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please feel free to scan the QR code and do the event check-in. Also, please share your feedback about today's session. It will help us choose our topics that better suit our audiences. Do visit our Microsoft Reactor Bengaluru meetup page for more upcoming session. Thank you all, and have a great weekend, all of you.
You too, Rasmita, and also with all the attendees. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.
Oh, Rashmita, I thought that thanks for joining and thanks for leaving too.
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay. Folks, have a safe
Thanks.
weekend. Bye.
Yeah, bye.